Hey guys, welcome to 2021. What now? Really, what now? I was talking to my wife this New Year's and thinking, what can I be doing? I felt like I wasn't fully self-expressed. I already have 2 podcasts. I'm working on a documentary film. I'm a very outspoken guy on social media. And I think I'm getting more in touch with, who I am, what I believe in, and what I stand for. And I've had some great mentors, people who would speak up when it was uncomfortable, people who would go against the grain when it was clear that most people were going one direction. And he and she, there's many mentors that I've had, went the other way. And I was talking to my wife and I said, what can I do? I really don't want to start another podcast, but what I haven't done is a YouTube channel, or I should call it a online video streaming channel, because I may not end up on YouTube after all, but I'm starting here. So what I wanted to do is create something that is adding more to a solution, a potentially powerful, inspiring, empowering way to move forward and create the future that we love. I didn't want to create another, video cast or podcast or some form of content that would add to the problem, that would continue to chew on the same issues, the same theories or points of views or truths, right? Because we all have them. A friend of mine used to say, we all have opinions like we have assholes. Everybody has an opinion, unless you don't have an asshole. I haven't met anyone without an asshole. Side note, forgive me for going there, but it's just a funny analogy. And so we all have opinions, we have points of views, we have beliefs, and I wanted to create content that would hopefully inspire people, empower them to move forward and to create the lives that they want. In the midst of any chaos, if we look at 2020, with COVID-19 and the elections, just to mention a few of the more powerful stirrer-uppers, right? Things got thrown up in the air. Individuals, families, communities, countries. The entire globe is like, and it's called uncertainty, right? I meet a lot of people who are very threatened, very uncomfortable with this uncertainty. And so I wanted to make my first video about what's next in the area of certainty. This show is called, 2021, what now? But really people are always wondering, like, what's next? What's next? What's next? 2020, then 2021. This job, this partner, that partner, COVID, no COVID, masks, no masks, vaccines, no vaccines, all that stuff, right? What's next? What should I do? And I'm here to say that, and there will be some of you that might take this the wrong way, because I took that the wrong way the first time I heard it. But what's lacking in this world is true masculine leadership. And what I mean by that is the masculine energy, not just men. I want to make sure that's clear. Masculine energy, at its core, the masculine is built, wired to create certainty. Now let me talk about certainty for a minute. There is no certainty in life, right? Much like there's no guarantee things are going to work out. When you look at electronics or appliances, one of the reasons why these items come with a warranty usually is because they know there's no guarantee. There's a difference between a warranty and a guarantee. Because there's no guarantee, you can have a warranty, meaning it might break. There's never a guarantee it's not going to break. So we're going to give you extra protection when that happens. Should it happen, and it could happen, it has happened. We know there's no guarantee in life, but there's a warranty, right? Slight difference, but big difference. So because there's no guarantee in life, then there's also no certainty that things are going to turn out one way or the other, right? If you ask someone like, are you certain that COVID's going to be here another year or not? Or are you certain that, Biden or Trump is president? Are you certain they're going to be a good president? Are you certain that there's going to be no more fires? There's some people that can answer those questions with a certain amount of certainty, where they go, oh yeah, that's definitely happening, right? And I think what they're doing is they're tapping into, excuse me, and this is not just for men, this is the same for women. They're tapping into their intuition, their gut feeling. You've heard people say, well, what do you think? What does your gut tell you? You know, often when we say intuition, it sounds a bit more airy-fairy, but gut feeling, most people can relate to. And how we actually calibrate our intuition or our gut feeling is through impulsivity, right? We get an impulse to do something, you think you should be doing it, you do it, and then it's either good for you or not, and you learn either way. Hopefully it'll be good. If it's not, you've learned a lesson, right? That's how we calibrate our intuition, our gut feeling. So it's very important. It's a very important part. I want you to know, because for those of you who know me from the ADHD's Over project, with the podcast of the same name, we are exploring the fact that impulsivity is actually good for that reason. That's the only way we can calibrate our intuition, our gut feeling. And when someone has a very well calibrated intuition or gut feeling, they are people who are more sovereign, who are more confident, who are more perhaps independent. You know, so when you ask them at a restaurant, what are you going to eat? They're going to choose something. They're not going to be the kind of people who say, well, I don't know, what are you eating? Let me see. Is that good? What do you think? Because that's a small version of someone whose intuition, whose gut feeling is not very well calibrated. There's not a lot of trust in their own decisions, right? They don't want to make the wrong decision. They don't want to order the salad that's not the good salad, because then I got the wrong thing and now I don't like it. So that's just a very small example of using a calibrated intuition or gut feeling. So why is that important? Well, I'll tell you why that's important. It's important because especially as men, when we are creating certainty in life, we have to have a certain amount of trust in our ability, a certain amount of trust in our potential to correct a direction that we took, even if it's the wrong one. You know, I have a family, I have a wife and 2 children, 2 boys, and when I make big decisions in life, you know, I have to trust that when things, or should things go a little bit off the path that I expected, right? If they go wrong, if you want to use that word, I don't think it's ever a wrong decision or a path. There's always learning, but let's just use that word. If things go wrong, then I have to trust myself that I can remedy that. I can correct, right? I can adjust, course correct, and bring my family back to thrive, to be abundant, to have food, to have a house, you know, a roof over their heads. So I, as a male, as a masculine, and this obviously in same-sex marriages, there's usually one partner who's a bit more in the masculine or one that's more in the feminine. So it's the same thing. It's a dance. You can't, usually relationships where both partners are predominantly in their masculine or both are predominantly in their feminine tend to not work out, because it's a dance, the masculine and the feminine energy. And there's various experts that speak on that. I think if you look at someone like Rafia Morgan, if you look at Brett Jones out of Australia, there's many others. There's more popping up, especially couples that are talking about the masculine, feminine dance, the union. And I highly recommend you check that out, because especially as a father, as a husband, as a partner in a committed long-term relationship, one of the most important things for myself as the father, as the man of the family, is to create certainty when there's none, and there is none. And see, that's the tricky part. So when someone asks me like, oh, what do I do? COVID and elections and unemployment and la 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 la, you know, fill in the blank. What I always hear is a lack of certainty. And when we look at the world today, if you look at the world leaders, what I see, this is my opinion, I see a lack of certainty. The world right now feels uncertain, or the future feels uncertain, because the people in charge, especially in politics, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's still highly, The percentage is masculine or male for the most part. And what I see when I hear the future is uncertain, I see a leadership constellation that's uncertain. I see a lot of men that look like men leaders, but they're actually boys. They're princes. They're not kings. They're not certain masculine. There's no certainty in their masculinity. There's lack of masculinity. There's lack of certainty. And so we end up, led by such people. Could be also women leaders that are in their masculine. We end up being led into this uncertainty. And for big business, for, if you want to call it capitalism or money reasons, uncertainty is good because we can sell people goods and services that will make them feel more certain. Again, as a leader of my family, we were talking about certainty. It is so important that nowadays we bring the responsibility of creating certainty back to ourselves. Not just me as a husband, but my wife as a feminine, and me as a masculine, and our children, and anyone. This is about sovereignty. This is about us reclaiming, being in charge of not only creating certainty, but also creating work and abundance, income, creating our health, creating our well-being, creating our community, our relationships, and so forth. That is powerful. When you meet people, and the people that you do meet that you look up to, that you're like, oh my God, that person was so confident or so certain, or I don't know, there's something about them. I guarantee you that that's what it is. They've created themselves as a sovereign entity, a sovereign being, and they said, I will create what I need. I will have what I need, right? Abundance. Abundance is not, contrary to what most people think, it's not saying, I want $5 million and tomorrow you have $5 million. And I want to have 5 cars and 5 cars show up. Remember The Secret, the movie? It was a bit misinterpreted. And there's power to manifestation. Yes, you can manifest anything in life. I believe that. But abundance really is, it's like that scene in Indiana Jones, right? When he's crossing over that, I forgot what it's called, but where he walks and the boards appear underneath his feet as he walks. There's a certain amount of trust that at some point shows up that, oh, those boards will be there to carry me across. That's what abundance is, trusting that when you need another board, whether it's food, money, job, whatever, it will appear for you to continue walking forward and get across, right? This drop down or cave or whatever you want to call it. And so abundance is really about trusting yourself that what you need will be there. Not what you want, what you need. And I don't want to get too much into that. That's going to be another episode that I'm going to continue perhaps tomorrow. The goal here is to make one video a day. And so today I wanted to just talk about certainty. And perhaps I can leave you with, and when I say leave you with, I'm also leaving myself with that question. Where in life do I feel uncertain? And how come I haven't created certainty there? And how could I create certainty in that area of my life, given that there is no guarantee, given that I will have to come up with some form of trust, believe in myself, right? The fake it till you make it. It's a little bit of I think it's a little easier said than done, but at the same time, I do believe that, we create certainty in the face of no guarantee. And that is a little bit of a mind twister. And so I want to leave you with that. This year, can you and I create certainty in our lives for ourselves and our families without depending on outside sources such as governments, communities, other people to do it for us? Can we be responsible for our own health and wealth and so forth without blaming someone outside of ourselves, ultimately taking full responsibility? Can we do that? Why wouldn't we want to do that? And perhaps just dwell in that inquiry. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate your attention. I don't take it lightly. As they all say here, like and subscribe, please, so we can continue to have that dialogue together. 2021, what now?